So yes, here it is, the big reveal. The next contestant on Strictly Come Dancing is, are you ready for this? Drum roll, please. Thank you. No budget here whatsoever. It is, from RuPaul's Drag Race, Michelle Visage. Oh, look at that. So how excited are you that you're going to get a 10? Not a 0.
Thank God that doesn't exist, because you never know. I'm very excited. I'm actually over the moon. This is one show that I've loved for years. I can't wait to be dramatic and just as amazing as I can be. And I'm a woman that's 50 years old, and I want to be out there representing the women of a certain age who people say, well, you know, they're old, they can't do it anymore. Well, actually, yeah, we can, and we can do it great.
The question of a partner.
Yeah.
Who do you like?
I'm Italian, so I would love Giovanni, because I love the Italian sense of humor, and it's just so funny, and the accent's amazing, and we would have a good time. And by the way, they gotta have some guns to lift all this. Trust me.
Tell me about that first meeting with RuPaul.
A very long time ago. Well, our working atmosphere was in a nightclub in New York City, and when we met each other, it was more like a hi. And then fast forward to 1992, I ran into each other at a music convention in New York City, and I walked up and said, I don't know if you remember me, and he looked me in the eyes and said, not only do I remember you, but I've been following you, and you are a superstar. You know, the thing about RuPaul's Drag Race is I think people that don't know it think it's just boys dressing up in girls' clothing, and really, even though that's what you see aesthetically, it's such a small part of the show. The show is about grit and determination and love and passion and understanding and tenacity of the human spirit. And these kids, I'm a mother of a queer child, and for these kids to have gone through what the majority of them have gone through, not all of them, but the majority of them have gone through on their own or being kicked out, that stuff gets to be aired. So the younger kids out there that are either A, going through it, have gone through it, or maybe will be going through it, will have a place where they can turn that they know that they're not alone.
Making a difference.
Yeah, that's what it's about.
There was a huge reaction to what happened. Were you surprised? Were you surprised, first of all, that...
Do you know, I think it took a few days, and I didn't realise the scale it's going to be so sort of hyped up, and it was quite shocking, really. It was really shocking, but I just tried to not to look on the outside. Yeah. We were just trying to keep it all together here, and because it was quite a lot of things that I've not experienced before. It was, well, of course, but
what were you thinking, you dafty? What was going on? Was it just too much booze? Was it just, what happened?
Silly me, isn't it?
Just daft?
Yeah, really.
I guess when you get, the thing about it, though, and everybody says that about Strictly, you get very close to somebody very, very quickly. And do you think that was it? It was just that? Probably.
Because it is, I always say, it's like living a small life within your own life.
It's like
you go through stages so quickly, and you get to know people, and yeah, and the dancing and all that.
It must have been really embarrassing, though, love, because you have to go and then you have to tell Neil. What were you... I mean, seriously, because I know things are OK now, but at the time, you must have been
It was a shock. Yeah. For me, it was a major shock, and, you know, I appreciated it, of course, that Katya told me, so I found out from Katya before I saw it.
So you were
in the news.
Prepared?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because that would have been terrible. If
yeah, and it was, and Strictly, they were fantastic with me, you know, and with us all, you know, they supported us all, and they were helping us, and it was that, I think it was that shock factor, and then for me, it was just straight away, I was actually more worried about Katya, because I was like, I could kind of see what was going to happen. Right. And then I knew how strong everything was on the show, and I was just like, as long as she's going to be OK.
That's really forgiving of you, though, to feel like that. I mean, you must love it.
It was a natural, of course, it was a natural reaction.
Strictly does take over an awful big portion of the year, I guess, for your lives. And we heard the great news about Gemma and Gorka.
I know.
Papa Yeah, which is fantastic. But it's very difficult for a couple to try and plan families and different bits and pieces away from the Strictly dance floor in many respects, isn't it?
Especially as a woman, you know, it's a big decision for me whenever we do decide to have a child. But we talk about it all the time because we are huge. We adore kids. Like, you should see us when we're around babies. We get so broody, both of us.
I think I am a baby, actually. Yeah.
So we're definitely going to have children. It's just right now our careers are on such a high. We're enjoying dancing so much, and we're enjoying being on Strictly so much. And the opportunities that we're being given at the moment, like doing Remembering the Movies and all these incredible projects that we take part of, we can't let those go just yet.
Absolutely, of course. My God, it was your birthday. Was it just yesterday?
Yesterday.
How old were you?
29.
Oh, you're a baby.
29. 29. I'll take that, 29.
Actually, talking about Gemma and Gorka, we've got a little message for you.
Oh, no!
Oh, no.
Hi, partner. Hi, Janette. We just want to say, hope you had a happy birthday for yesterday. Hope you got your present. Well, you are, because this is your present, us two doing this for you. This is your gift. What more do you need?
I love it.
Have a great time on tour, guys, and we can't wait to come and see you.
Oh, I love that.
Oh, look at them.
I love you, Jim and Gox.
I've had the tinnitus all my life, as long as I can remember.
It's a horrible thing to
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, it's only the thing I've only ever known, so it's only I've got used to it, but it drives people completely mad, which I could understand, because sometimes it's so loud and it supersedes everything that it makes my eyes water, and I can't hear any sounds from the front of the mouth, like the cert, the cut, the fut.
Yeah.
And I end up getting to the point of, if it's too loud, I just hear murmur, murmur, murmur. Then I have to piece it together by lip reading.
So you use lip reading a
I'm not
lot?
too bad here.
Right,
I'm
okay.
not too bad. Yeah.
It sort of makes me think, but when you were playing rugby, you sort of said it almost made you better at rugby?
Absolutely.
In what way? That's so intriguing.
I couldn't hear the calls. I couldn't hear people around me sometimes.
Yeah.
So I found out that early on that I wasn't the most skillful player in the world. So I made sure that I'd have an extra skill to my armoury, which was communication.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't hear anyone, I'd make sure they heard me.
Ah, okay.
So I would commentate around, especially around rucks and mauls, or when you're in defence or attack, I'd make sure people knew where I was, what the call was, and make people easier around me. And it doesn't matter what level you play at, communication can be very poor, even at low level to even high level. So I made sure that I was going to become the best at it, because obviously of my hearing.
Right.
And then I found out that actually in attack, when people when you play so close to the gain line in top-end elite sport that you don't have any time to think, it's the minute fractions of seconds. You've got to recognise space, people running into space and passing to noise is what people look for. So space and noise. Okay. So people are going to be calling for the ball running into space, you're going to pass to the noise. And I found out that actually being loud, that I got the ball. And so I just thought, well, I'll be loud every time I'm in attack or defence, so that made me get the ball. I was second highest try scorer for England, and the reason is that I couldn't hear anyone to pass the ball to.
So you just hang on to it?
Every time I got the ball, I ran scared, and that's the truth.
You had a lot going on in your personal life at that time with your mum, which you kept quiet for your own reasons in that time. It wasn't easy.
No, I think so. Mum got diagnosed with breast cancer, and very quickly it was apparent that she'd need to have a mastectomy. She was riddled in one side, and the reason that we wanted to tell Mum's story, she's had the all clear, which is great. She's got 3 years more of treatment to do, more as a preventative now. But her cancer was occult, which meant that even though she had the mammogram, it wasn't visible.
Right.
So
she went back again, didn't she? It wasn't until a couple of months after the mammogram. Yeah.
So our message, or the reason for telling Mum's story, is even if you've had the all clear, if there doesn't feel like something's right with your body, still ask questions, still keep going back if it doesn't feel right.
Don't always take the first answer.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and it was a lump again. Mum had lumps before, just thought it might be another cyst or something, and it wasn't. So go back, be body aware, check yourself. It's so important.
Yeah, well, we certainly endorse that on this show. I have done for such a long time. It is, and it's just, as you say, being aware, isn't it?
Yeah.
And just going back and don't take no for an answer sometimes.
Absolutely.
But like we say, that was all ongoing during Strictly, which was, I suppose, maybe Strictly was a bit of a light relief for your mum as well, just because
it was a wonderful distraction from what Mum was going through. You know, we were sending videos of our rehearsals so she could compare that to the live show. And Mum loved the costumes, because Mum used to make my costumes when I was little as well. So it was a really lovely thing for Mum to see.
Yeah.
And also, I think it really spurred me on to do well. When I was having a hard day, kind of just gave myself a reality check.
Yeah, well, it's perspective, isn't it?
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
for all the nerves and everything else that you have for these things, it does. It puts it all into line.
I was a working mother with both of my children, and we couldn't be closer. So whether you work or you don't work, it's important, your relationship to your child. And I feel like I was the mother I wanted to be with my children. And with this little granddaughter, I'm watching my own daughter give her the love that I hoped that I gave to my children. I'm still working. I'm doing Grease by day. I'm doing Midsummer Night's Dream with Gwendolyn Christie at Tech every evening, because I was working
Game of Thrones.
So, yes, Gwendolyn from Game of Thrones, and an amazing cast. And the thing is, I'm up early, I go to bed late, and I'm filling my days with work. But quite frankly, if I wasn't, I don't know what I'd be doing. I don't think they'll ask me, so it wouldn't be fair to say I do or don't want to go.
Okay.
But yes, and I love Darcy. I really do, and she's a very, very special person.
You're both hugely respected in the world of dance, so and we respect you immensely too. And carry on working and shining the light on the way to go for us girls who are coming up behind.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.